Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Cosmic Compass. We'll just be starting here in just a moment. Make yourselves comfortable. And yeah, here we are, right? This is happening. It's Monday. So I'm glad you're here. I'm very, it's going to be an interesting week. There's some really powerful things on tap. So I'm really excited for that. And I'm really happy that you're here. We'll just wait another couple minutes, well, maybe just another minute to get started. Just to make sure people who want to be here can be here. I'm going to put on some music here for a minute, just as we, get settled. And then we'll do some breathing. So if you need and want to get a journal or some tea, this is a good time. I have my tea here this morning. It is chai with black tea. So yeah, I'm ready. Yay, Tanya. Whew. All right. So as we wait, just kind of tuning in. And you can already begin to allow your body to just relax a little bit, or if it needs to wake up a little bit more, whichever needs to happen for some of you that are in different time zones, or listening to this later, just tuning into where you are right now and what you need and what's happening. And yeah, I think we'll go ahead and get started. So as we begin this morning, I'm just going to leave this music on in the background as we do some of our breathing. And just allow yourself to deepen into wherever you are. And again, everything's an invitation. If it's not particularly convenient to close your eyes, please do not. Very important. If it is convenient to close your eyes, feel free to keep those eyes closed. And just allow yourself the opportunity to get here, to be here in whatever form you're in this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening, or tomorrow, depending on where you are. And we'll be doing some breathing together as we settle in. So feeling your feet, feeling that energy as it gently moves through your body. And as we deepen in, if it's comfortable for you, to just allow your awareness, your energy, to drop all the way to the core and the center of the earth. There's a really awesome way to feel grounded, and it's something that we do all the time. It's to feel how the earth meets us at our feet, and knowing that we are supported. So if it's comfortable, again, to keep your eyes closed, feeling that root going all the way to the core, and just taking a moment to listen to the earth. Listen to the sky, the stars, the heavens. And from this place, breathing in, expanding your belly as you breathe, and exhaling when you're ready. And breathing in all the way up from the core of the earth, feeling that earth healing energy moving into every cell of your body. Exhaling when you're ready. And breathing in, expanding your belly, and exhaling when you're ready. And one more breath in, filling that belly. And exhaling whenever you're ready. Beautiful. And I know I could probably stay here for a while, but we'll come back and I'll start talking and we'll start doing what we do. But from this place, I'd like to just offer our weekly tarot reading. And again, we're doing a little modified, a little bit shorter today than normal, just because my schedule is kind of packed today. So I'm giving myself just a little breathing room, which is nice. I'm going to start today actually with the Star Child Tarot. I'm pretty sure I've used this one before with all of you, but we're going to start with a card from this. It's by Danielle Noel, I think. Please tell me I know this. Yes, Danielle Noel. And I really, really like this deck. So we're going to dive in and we're going to pull one card from here as our anchoring card, something to really tune into. And again, I'm going to really let you tune in. So I'm going to spotlight so you can actually see the card. Interesting. Wow. Okay, so this is the extra card in the deck. So this is like not a normal tarot deck in that sense. There's a couple of extra cards. So this is one of the extra cards, and it's the Akashic Records card. And I think we may have pulled this when we had our Akashic Records person on last month, but here we are, the Akashic Records. Now, this is very interesting as a grounding card. So for those of you that are familiar with the Akashic Records, you might consider how this is grounding, how this is connecting. And for those of you who are not, just ignore the words and look at the image and just allow yourself a moment. Oh, now I've made it all blurry. There we go. Just allow yourself a moment to dive into that image and stay grounded. And what in this card is helping you stay grounded? What's helping you stay centered? And I will send you some more information about this when I do the follow-up later. But for now, just, diving in, what's going to help you stay centered? What's going to help you stay grounded? And very, it's the number 22. There is an extraordinary Merkaba at the bottom. Some of these are hard to see. And obviously there's some powerful support along the sides. And then the pyramid on the top. So just beautiful. And again, sorry for the blurriness, but you get the idea. All right. So that's our first card. And again, we're doing this for the collective. So this is meant to support all of us. And I guess what I'll say briefly about that is just understanding that we have many purposes in this lifetime. Some are more evident than others, and some are a little bit more mysterious. And the Akashic Records is a place where there is a lot of information, as you can tell from the words. And by the way, I'm trying to retrain myself. Tarot, right? I've learned that the proper pronunciation according to the Cambridge English Dictionary is tarot. And if I say tarot, it's just because I've said it my whole life. So apologies to pronunciation guides. All right. So lots of information available to us. This is something that some people really do specialize in doing readings, very powerful readings that allow for us to learn a bit more about what those records contain and indicate. Thank you, Robin. I appreciate that. And this is coming from someone who understands the Cambridge English Dictionary, so thank you. And thank you, Elizabeth, for commenting on the music. I really appreciate it. All right, so our next card is coming from the Lightseers Tarot, or Tarot. Take your pick. And we get this one a lot, or I get this one a lot. Right? I know exactly, Tanya. That is exactly what I was thinking, because I mean, I personally like taro root. I like the paste. I know it's rare, but I actually really like it. I know it's strange, but I like it. Okay. Seven of Pentacles. And again, it wants to focus on me. There we go. And I want it to focus on the card. This card comes up quite a bit for me personally. I think it's come up a number of times for all of us on Mondays. And this is beautiful. It's just, in a way, I always look at these down here like the planets, right? The planets rooted in the ground. That's not necessarily what the card may mean for all of you, but for me, that's what I'm aware of right away. But of course, the idea here is that something is growing. There is something actually taking root and growing and expanding. And then this focus of energy is very powerful here as well. When I first took Reiki from Kristen, one of our community members here, I just practiced on plants because I figured, I couldn't, plants. Oh, and my robin friend is here. I have a robin friend who comes to visit, other than Robin, who is here also, but my robin bird friend is out here. So that's exciting. So again, what are you planting? What is growing? What is getting ready to grow a little bit more? This is not quite harvest time. It is interesting too. That's interesting, Robin, is your card yesterday. Interesting that Tanya mentioned the taro root, because here's a nice little root right in there. So very interesting timing there. All right. And then I'll pull one more of the light seers. And we've had this card before too. But I really like this card a lot. This is the last card of the deck. And let's see if I can get it into focus. Yeah, at least you can sort of see it. But the idea is there's a wolf. There's this beautiful pentacle, a library, somebody looking relaxed. It's very nice. A lot of knowledge, a lot of earthly support, companionship, right? It's the last card in the deck. And so I've always felt very special when this card shows up. It's like, oh, yay, we're moving in the right direction. That's my personal thought. But there is actually some really powerful interpretations of this card from other people. And maybe not, I don't know what she has to say about this, but just that, you're on the right track. You're okay. This is your purpose, your vision. You're heading in the right direction. You are where you need to be exactly right now. So, there's a lot here that I love this card. I love this card, and I love it in all the decks because it's beautiful. So we have these three for today, and I'll put these in the recap, and I'll say a little bit more about each of them. But again, I guess the most important thing for me is that you're able to tune in and kind of see for yourself before we read anything about them. Like, what am I seeing? What am I feeling? And I have to say, this is a good entry card. I like this a lot. Like, I'm diving in, I'm going deeper. I've planted some seeds and some things are growing now. And there's a level of accomplishment and relaxation in this card. So what is it I can sit back and feel good about? What can I feel good about? And that's not a bad thing to offer yourself, by the way, in my opinion. Not a bad thing at all. All right. So as you all know, this is being recorded. I am going to put this on YouTube. If I keep the spotlight on, I don't think any of you will show up, but at the beginning, I did not have the spotlight on, so I just wanted to let you know that. If anyone has any kind of challenges with that, just let me know, later, and I'll try to figure something out. The YouTube is public, but no one has the link unless they're reading the newsletter. So, just to let you know. And Elizabeth, who's one of our wonderful tarot readers, as well as teachers. Yes, the King of Pentacles tying in with the Akashic card. It does very much feel that way. Yeah, and I just, for all of us, to really consider what we can relax into this week or what we can celebrate this week. So I'm very, very excited. All right. So what I want to do is I'm going to talk astrology today. We may actually have some time for questions. We'll see. I'm just giving myself spaciousness today for lots of reasons, and some of you know what they are. And so I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. I'm just going to bring the chart of the moment up. Now it is set for Eastern time. That doesn't change the planets and where they are. It's just the way the houses are, and everything's kind of located where it is. Anyway, it doesn't really change anything. It just happens to be set from where I was born. So it's in Eastern time. Okay. So in this moment, at this moment in time, the moon is in Gemini, almost conjunct Mars today. So again, that's always interesting. I like to track the moon. It's going to, it's brief, it's momentary, but a moon Mars conjunction is a lot of energy. Now the rising will change, so it won't always be in the 12th house, but it is right now. So that explains to me, like, I'm just feeling very inward and I'm feeling reflective, which is a very 12th house thing. I'm in a very explorative mode, kind of discovery mode. Now, this is not my chart, but as a collective chart and feeling in our group here, this 12th house energy makes sense. So just turn down the heat a little. Okay. I get really hot when I'm working, so I have to turn down the heat. It's like, whoa, there's a lot of energy. Okay. So obviously the sun is in Pisces. And I think one of the things about this week that I really am excited about, and I've already started to see it in the sky, which is so, so fun to have sky where I live. Now, granted, it is snowing, but right now, so I can't see the sky. But on, what night was it? Saturday night when we got home from our long stay of dog sitting in Portland, Oregon. We came back to Southern Oregon where we're living, and the sky was so beautiful. And I saw Venus and Jupiter lining up in the sky. And for us here, it was setting. It was in the west, and it was, I guess, I don't know what time it was. It could have been 9 o'clock. I'm not sure, but it was setting. So wow, and wow. It's so cool. This conjunction will be full on Wednesday. And so from an astronomical point of view, to be able to see it in the sky just makes me so happy. It just makes me so happy. I love it so much. And from an astrological point of view, this is one of those days that happens every year, where there's just blessings abounding. And there's a lot of, you'll notice it's in Aries. So there's a lot of energy here. There's a lot of creativity. There's a lot of new seeds, new energy. Now, technically we don't start the year astrologically until March. But I sort of see this as sort of like a preview, like we're getting started. There's energy coming, and it's big and it's bold and it's powerful. So understanding that Jupiter changes signs every year, this won't happen again for another 12 years. Okay, so just keeping that in mind, this is not going to happen again for another 12 years. That's important. So if you want to, and this is sometimes what we do during this, is I'm going to pull up the chat here. Oh, Tanya, you have a telescope. Okay, Tanya, do you want to unmute for a minute? I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
What time of, because you're in a different time zone. So
hmm
where are you finding it in the sky, and at what time are you able to see it?
Oh, setting. Yeah, because
Yeah.
the evening, so in the west,
Uh-huh.
so I
Yeah.
can see them together.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of cool. I mean, it's been raining a lot, but when it clears up in between, it's like not only can you see all the stars, but Jupiter is so bright, it's on the bottom and Venus is above. And so,
Yeah. Yeah. It's
yeah,
amazing,
really
isn't
cool.
it? It's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
I saw someone got a picture with the moon lined up the other night. Oh my
That was
God.
like 3 nights ago or something, 4 nights ago,
Yeah.
but it was
Yeah, it
too
was.
cloudy here to see it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you. Thank you. I love it. Um, so yeah, one of the things that we like to do here in this little magical space is to consider where were we 12 years ago? Okay? Because the last time Jupiter and Venus were together in Aries, okay? Just in Aries. They're together every year somewhere. But the last time would have been 12 years ago. So let's think about this for a moment. 2023 minus 12 is 2011. Okay. So I don't know about you, but 2011, wow, it life changing. Now there was other things going on in the sky, huge things going on with Uranus and Pluto in 2011, 2012, going on into 2014. So there was plenty going on. But interesting to kind of look back at this time, say, wow, this was a really important time. This was a really potent time for new beginnings. And sometimes with new beginnings, there are some huge letting go, right? So I don't want to bypass that. So, but I also want to say that from an astrological point of view, this is an extraordinarily powerful week. And we have so much opportunity to really engage, to just feel our and I'm hearing this so interesting. I'm hearing feel our compassionate, fierce, loving power. And it just happens that we're all women on the call today. It's not always that way. Um, but I want to just put out there, what is your relationship with power? What is your relationship with fierce, loving, compassionate power? Right? And how does that feel? And that can really feel this energy. Now, notice as well, not far away is Chiron. For those of you that are familiar with astrology, they're getting closer and closer too. This is profound opportunities for healing. Okay. So, and then you'll notice Diana is right after that, one of the asteroid goddesses. So they're all here hanging out. And Diana, so if you think Artemis, if you think, independent, strong, powerful, I can only, at this point, given this is a collective chart, I can really only speak for myself, but is there anything about deepening into my own power that could use some healing right now? And probably the answer is going to be 100% yes, because there's always more. There's always more to heal. And that's not a bad thing. That doesn't mean we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. It's just that there's layers upon layers upon layers. So I'm going to put this out there this morning. I always say take it with a grain of salt, be discerning, do what feels right for you. But I'm going to put out there that this week is the week where we have yet another opportunity to heal. And the last time we had this conjunction, Chiron was not here. So I'm going to add in the healing component. All right. So this is an opportunity to heal any relationship we have with our own power, compassion, love, fierceness, advocacy, creativity, And I'm just very aware in the field that many of us have had past lives where using our power, we can go either way here. Like I've had lifetimes where I have misused power. Okay. I've had lifetimes where being in my power did not have a good end, did not end well. So my relationship to what does it mean to be powerful, right? What does it mean to be powerful? Um, yes, and Elizabeth, to answer your question, sorry, I didn't have the chat up. Jupiter is helping us step into our power. For the whole time it's in here. And with Venus coming in, there's this loving energy around loving ourselves and our power. And then the Chiron energy, of course, the healing energy of that. So our relationship to power doesn't mean control. At least for me, it doesn't mean control. It doesn't mean manipulation. There are ways in which that might show up this week because we need to heal it. And these are my opinions. Be discerning. So as I'm moving through my own healing journey, testing different parts of my own power and purpose and love and healing, what do I want to bring to that this week? And to be really honest and to be pretty vulnerable about this, and Chiron brings up a lot of vulnerability, right? 2011 was probably one of the roughest years of my life. I've had some pretty rough years since then, as have all of you. But from a personal standpoint, 2011 was tough. So coming back around to this and looking at it from a different perspective, what's the next step for me? And I will say to all of you that the healing of that person who I was in 2011, and honestly, the healing energy I'd like to offer to, there were a lot of people who were hurt by some of the choices I made in 2011, right? It was the year where I got divorced, moved away, moved to a place where I didn't know anybody, started my life over. It was tough. It was a tough year. And again, healing energy for all, right? Healing energy for all concerned. But coming back around and just saying, wow, who am I now? Who have I become 12 years later that I can love and cherish myself? Aries is about the self. So we have to start there. It's like, who are we? Who am I? Is where we're going to start with this one. Now we'll get, obviously being of service and caring for others, all of that is here as well. And this week we definitely start with who am I? How am I healing? How am I embracing my full self? How am I embracing my expression? How am I embracing my power? So, this is a big week, and I say that every week. And I'm very aware of that. I'm very aware that I'm saying that every week. So big surprise there. So the other thing that's happening, if that weren't enough, right? If that weren't enough, look at Pluto over here. Beautiful Pluto, 29 degrees of Capricorn. Now, none of us were alive in this lifetime anyway, 250 years ago or whenever it was last at 29 Capricorn. However, looking at the transit since 2010, right? So again, 2010, 2011, they're kind of close by each other. Pluto solidly into Capricorn in 2010, now getting ready to move into Aquarius. Interesting, 12, 13 years. How have we evolved? How have we transformed? What have we shifted in our foundations and our structures? What needs to continue to shift and change and transform? The 29th degree is super powerful. It's called an anorectic degree. And this time around, we chose this lifetime to really deepen in. So what is it that we really truly want to heal, change, transform. And what are we letting go of? What old structures are we letting go of? And we're getting ready to move into something vastly different, vastly different. Pretty exciting, actually. Now, if that weren't enough, look who's at 29 degrees over here. Saturn. Saturn is getting poised to move into Pisces, and I've been promising you that we would talk about this. Whew, Saturn at the end of Aquarius. Saturn started in 2020, actually, Saturn was in Capricorn, but pretty quickly, Saturn moved into Aquarius and has been with us for 2.5 years. And if you look back, the last 2.5 years have been somewhat interesting, right? There's a lot of learning that we have as a beautiful group of people on this planet, Aquarius energy. We've had to really look at who we are, how we're connected, how we want to stay connected. A lot of us have experienced some pretty challenging things in these last 2.5 years. So Saturn, I like to embrace Saturn, and I'm back living on my Saturn line right now. So I'm embracing Saturn more. What am I learning? What have I learned the last 2.5 years that is going to allow me, to liberate myself from the patterns, beliefs, doubts, things that just haven't worked for me in the past? How have I changed my understanding of this global experience, this cosmic experience that we're having? How am I a part of this evolving landscape? And looking at the Aquarius energy, how am I a part of creating possibilities for the future? What am I doing? How am I doing? Super powerful questions, right? Saturn won't be back for another 30 years, 29 years. So this is a good time. I mean, I hope I'm here 29 years from now. No guarantees, but I hope I am. And if I'm not, this is a good time to just say Saturn brings up a lot around mortality, and I'm having my Saturn return this year. So, it's like, okay, so what do I really want in the next phase? And so again, 29 degrees, just offering that reminder that we have things to consider, that we have things to review. What have I learned? It's always a really good, and any planet you should ask, in my opinion, what have I learned? But with Saturn, what have I been taught might even be a better question. What lessons have been moving toward me in the highest and best way? Some of them not so easy. Now, I will say very clearly that yes, there is a relationship between these two planets right now. This is an interesting relationship to have. They're both speaking very loudly. Pluto goes underneath, and you can feel it in your body, right? It's deep, it's under the earth, and it's that energy that comes up. Saturn, I would be curious. And again, I really encourage relationships, like intimate relationships with these planets. Where do we feel Saturn? I feel Pluto a lot of times in my root energy center. Where do I feel Saturn? Right now, I feel Saturn a little bit in my head, a little bit in my heart. And so how can I utilize this information coming from my body about what I've learned or what I need to learn more of? So yeah, it's really interesting for me to take time to go through and just look through, okay, these two are really asking us to consider what are we letting go of that will allow us to have a future, to get really serious, very Saturn about it. What structures, and this is internal as well as external, right? What relationships, what structures, what ways of life, what's working, what's not working. And globally or even universally, right? Like, how am I a part of something larger? How are my actions and my choices and my decisions affecting the greater whole? So it is very serious. Saturn's very serious. That's just Saturn for you. Now, Saturn also promises that there is this. I don't want to always paint Saturn as always super serious. There is I'm going to use this word. It's an old word, mirthfulness in Saturn. There is a type of joy in Saturn, and it's that hard. I've worked really hard, and I'm this card. Um, Actually, I don't know that this is necessarily related to Saturn in the way cards are related to the planets, but sitting back, I've worked hard. I'm in my, library of knowledge and experiences. He's older, like the Saturn has that sort of older energy. Yeah. How am I? What have, yeah, how can I look back? How can I look at what I've created, and how is that going to help for the future? So again, once we move from Aquarius into Pisces, the energy is going to shift quite a bit. Saturn moving into Pisces brings us into that beautiful mystical, it's not soft. Pisces has a lot of inner core energy that's very strong, but there can be a diffuseness. Is that a word? Diffuseness of energy. And so just having an opportunity to shift some of this core energy into something a little bit more mystical, sensitive. Now, Saturn into Pisces, we're looking at also the collective unconscious. So again, we'll get more into that as it moves in there, but having Saturn in Pisces myself, it's a lot to unpack. So sometimes when I have something like I have Saturn in Pisces, I have blind spots. So I'm going to do my due diligence and do a lot of research for all of us so I can make sure that I'm not missing something. But again, your experience is what really matters. And I'm just giving you little bits to kind of consider as we move along here. It is, yeah, we're moving along. We're learning. And the last thing, is this the last thing? I think this will be the last thing that I'll talk about today is the North Node, which again, the lunar node, it's moving this direction. And so it's headed toward Aries, which is, again, we have had a couple years, about 2.5, no, 18 months, 2 years, 18 months. We've had about 18 months of the node being in Taurus. So it's about to shift fairly soon into Aries. Again, very different energy, which leaves Chiron, the North Node, Jupiter, for a while in Aries together. Venus moves a lot faster, so she'll move out. This is Juno, and this is Eris. Eris hangs out in Aries a very, very long time. So as the North Node moves into Aries, again, even if our North Node isn't in Aries, as a collective, like, okay, what am I innovating? What is new? Where do I want to put this energy this year, next year? How do I want to work with this energy? So there's a lot of new on the horizon, a lot. Big change here, big change here, big change here. There's a lot of big change. I didn't think I was quite done. I'm getting there. Slowly but surely, I'm almost done for today. Mars. So since we're talking about Aries, probably good to look at where Mars is. Mars in Gemini is going to be leaving in March, and it's been here since last year. This is a very long transit. This doesn't normally happen. So for those of us that have Gemini planets, there's been a lot of effect going on here. And for those of you who are Geminis or Gemini moon or Gemini rising, it's a lot of energy that Mars has been just into your world. Once it leaves, it moves into Cancer, and the energy changes pretty dramatically. There's a lot of thinking and a lot of it's great curiosity, exploring. Like the mind is just like, which is great. And I'm personally kind of sad it's leaving because I've really enjoyed this. Moving into Cancer, though, it's also good. A lot of we can drop more into our sensual body. We can drop more into our sensitive side, and the shadow side of that is being really sensitive. Right? There's a lot more sensitivity coming through. So I actually have a little bit more I want to say about that. But it is, again, we've got a lot of change coming. March is a big change month. And we start on March 1st with that conjunction of Venus and Jupiter. So it feels really good to me. I'm always going to skew toward the positive. It doesn't mean I'm not acknowledging how challenging it all is, because I'm living it with all of you. So I'm aware of that, but I definitely feel very positive with my Sagittarius moon. I feel very positive about the newness. And as with anything, when things change, there can be bumps. We need to adjust. And that's part of what's going on right now, is the adjustment phase. Okay. So I'm going to stop share. And okay. So one thing, and I'm going to, if you don't want to be on camera and you're okay with your picture, I'm going to remove the spotlight so I can see all of you, but that means it'll show up in the video. So I'm just giving you fair warning. But I'm going to remove the spotlight because I really just like seeing all of you. And there's just a few of us left today. So yay, good to see your face. Yay. So I am not an expert on solar flares. I don't know if anybody else here is, but one thing, there's actual science to back up. So this is not, some woo-woo thing. This is like the real deal. Solar flares do change our systems, and we have a lot of them right now. A lot. And so there's different websites where you can go look at the space weather, and you can see how the solar flares are affecting the Earth's atmosphere. And we are part of the Earth, right? We're part of the heavens, and we're part of the Earth. And so we are, in fact, going through quite a bit. So one thing that I read, and from a trusted source, is that we may feel a lot more sensitive this week. We may feel a little bit more like someone says something and you might feel like crying when normally you don't necessarily have that response. That has already happened to me, which made me dig in and look around, right? And I always feel there's good in this, because if we're going to dig underneath it, what's going on? If we're that sensitive, that's okay. Nothing wrong with being sensitive. But what is it? And is the response something that is supporting us? Or is it something that, again, because we're into this week of healing, is it something I need to let go of? Is this one of those things that I need to let go of? So yeah, Elizabeth is saying she can definitely feel them. And for those of you that do, work with animals, and people, but animals feel everything. There's an animal. We see one right there. We see a beautiful animal. Hello. They're gonna see, they totally know. They can feel them too. You can feel them. Yeah. So how are they responding? We were just dog sitting, and oh, hi, honey. So sweet. We were just dog sitting, and the little one was a little anxious. So how did I adjust to, support this being in my care? And so I did what I just hung out with them. I work from home. That's easy. I can hang out. And but we have ourselves too. So how am I responding to my own response to this energy? So last night I had some very odd dreams, very odd dreams. So I woke up this morning and it just took me a moment to kind of come back and just say, all right, I didn't take the time to really dive into the dreams, but just acknowledge that there's a lot of energy and that there's a lot moving through me, and that our dreams are a place where we can do a lot of healing. There's a lot of power in our dreams. So whether we go from a purely scientific place where the chemicals in our body are moving us into these dream states, and those dream states are offering some release of what's happening with us, or we go into the mystical realm, which is the one I'm more comfortable in, which is each of these dreams is giving me some, information about myself. Jungian psychology loves dream analysis, right? So what is it that I need to examine? If I'm having dreams about, other people, what qualities of those people how are those qualities present in myself, right? So that is kind of what I have to offer today, is just a lot of posing of the questions, posing of the opportunities that exist for us right now, and just really, again, highlight the healing energy. I'm really excited about it myself. And I'm also kind of sitting here going, wow, what do I want to do on Wednesday? How can I honor this on Wednesday? And it's important. And I was in a meeting last night with some other people in similar professions, and there's I love lighting candles. I love certain elements of ritual. And it's super important. And I am just going to say this, my opinion, it's not the ritual that does the healing. It's us that is engaged in the healing process. But if lighting a candle helps set that container so that I can engage in that healing process, then absolutely. I will say crystals, they actually, they're from the earth. They have a certain frequency, a certain energy. Animals, nature, trees, everything. Where we position ourselves, what we position ourselves around does make a difference, because it's our environment. It's the container in which we are doing the healing. If we're having a busy day on Wednesday, which I am certain I am having a busy day, where am I going to position myself for that, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes of honoring the healing journey I'm already in? Maybe I go for a walk. Maybe I meditate. Maybe I'm outside. Like, I'm really jealous of that blue sky wherever you are, Robin. I'm really jealous. Okay. But if it's snowing, which it will be snowing on Wednesday, how can I honor the container that I'm in? I love that image there, Robin, with the sun was right up at your crown. It's pretty cool. You just stay right there. So anyway, there's a lot happening. There's profound energies supporting us. However you create your container is perfect for you. There's no right or wrong. And I know that some people don't believe that. So I want to just be, mindful that for me, if you're creating your container with intention and all you've got is a glass of water, right? Drink your water with the intention to do the healing, right? Let that be your ritual, right? If you're on a walk, let what you see that comes into your gaze be part of the healing journey or the ritual. Let these planets, if you are in a position to go see Jupiter and Venus conjunct, yes, do it. If you don't have that app on your phone, get it. Let me see what it's called. It's called the Sky Guide. I have the Sky Guide app on my phone. Awesome. Okay. Help you find what you need to find on any given day and any given time. All right. I've babbled on enough. Does anyone have any questions before we close? We're going to close early today, but does anybody have any questions, thoughts, suggestions? information. You don't have to, but if you do, I'd love to hear from you. Go ahead, Tanya.
So last night it was storming so much. I sat outside and drank my tea, but the wind, like a few raindrops came, and then all of a sudden just a squall came through. And it was so amazing because I felt like I was like, it comes from the northeast. So I was sitting on the back of my house, so I could still be outside while it was happening.
Yeah.
And the energy that came through, it was, I felt like I was in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I'm aligned with the Kali energy, and I think that Kauai carries a lot of that. But I always see it as a positive thing because it pulls the things out, and I could literally just get rid of them. But yeah, I don't know. It's primordial. I don't know what the sensation is, but it feels like you're not a person. You are the tree. You are the thing because you're in the fabric, right? And so it's like that. I never really understood the word exaltation, but it's like actually experiencing it. It's like there might as well have been angels singing. It was so violent, but it was so beautiful at the same time. And just when I thought it was raining that hard or blowing, then it happened again. And it happened at night in the bedroom. Like I had the window open and it woke me up because the wind blew across my face. So it went on all night. It was crazy. So, I mean, I slept, but I didn't really sleep because I was in all.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Wow. Wind is very clearing, very cleansing, and sometimes overly so, depending on where you are and how strong the wind is. But Tanya, the reason I'm in awe also of, like, Elizabeth is saying too, the elements, it's so, and the word primal and the word exaltation, it's really interesting. So I have that embodying the goddesses program that we're halfway through. And Friday, the word was exaltation, and that we're studying Urania this month. And so Urania is the goddess of astrology, astronomy, and the celestial knowledge, and all of that. And so we've been looking at Urania in our charts, and the word that came was exaltation. So I'm fascinated by that
And
word.
normally I really hate wind, but I
I
love
don't, yeah.
because it's not cold, so it's not ripping things from me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like when it's cold, I feel exposed and I feel really annoyed.
Well, I'm sure you would, given where you are right now. It would be very annoying. It's not what we expect. But wind is a very clearing element. And, understanding that connection to our elements, I cannot say how much I am so grateful to be able to be living on a piece of land right now where I can just feel the elements again in a new way. I've been living around so much concrete for so long that I'd forgotten a little bit of what that was like. And so to be where I am right now and to be able to feel that a little more, it makes a huge difference for me and how I'm approaching things. So and the healing journey. So Robin, thank you, Robin. I'm really happy that this was aligning with where you are right now and feeling really congruent. And Judy, thank you. And Elizabeth, thank you. And all of you, thank you. And for all the people who are listening later, you're always held in the container. And I am very grateful for the opportunity to do this. And I'm happy that we're here together. Like, this means a lot to me to meet on our Mondays and get our week started this way. So I look forward to next week. I would like reports on, I mean, not that you have to do homework, but, let's just see how the week goes. And I'll look forward to checking back in with everybody next Monday or sooner, depending on if I'm talking to you in another context. So, all right. Thank you. And thank you for your understanding that I want to give myself a little extra time today. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, I'll see you all next week.